Welcome, Boss Agents. This is the Boss Agent Podcast with your hosts, Matt
Hi.
and Rich. It is no secret that real estate is one of, if not the number one industry where you can become independently wealthy faster and easier than any other industry.
That's right. And I think that's why for so many people, becoming a real estate agent is such an enticing career opportunity and choice.
Exactly. So today we're going to cover how to become a real estate agent. Really quick, before we get started with that, we're going to go cover the pros and cons of being a real estate agent.
That's right. And I think for number one, for me, for Rich, for a lot of agents out here, it's honestly just helping people hit their goals and meet their dreams and get their dream house. For me, I love it. Rich, I know you love it. I don't want to speak for you, but
Absolutely.
yeah. So that's huge for us. That's number one, guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely. And right goes hand in hand with that is that there is unlimited earning potential in real estate. And we covered that in the intro of the video. So another thing that I really like is that every day is different. My day-to-day is wildly varied from what I'm doing on Monday to Tuesday and what I'm doing this week, Monday to Tuesday versus last week. It's different every day, and I love that.
Right. And also, we get to meet a lot of interesting people. We get to have, and create great relationships with other people, whether it's, in a friendly level or even a business level. And we get to see a lot of interesting properties too. It's great.
Absolutely. And I love that, the relationship aspect of it. I love that. So another thing that a lot of people really like is that you can really work when you want to or set your own hours.
Right. And also, you can technically make as much money as you're willing to work for. Again, it goes with that unlimited earning potential. And then for Rich, I know we talked about it's kind of like the thrill of the hunt, getting that sale closed and
For sure.
going from there. So
Definitely. The thrill, the adrenaline rush of negotiating is a great pro to this business. It feels awesome. Another benefit or pro of being in real estate or getting into real estate is that there's really a super low barrier of entry. There's no college degree required. And that's great because I dropped out of college. So for me personally, I couldn't do something else that required a degree.
sure.
So
That ties in really well with the cons of real estate. So we can go right into that. It's a low barrier of entry, meaning that if you don't have that time and money commitment, it's also pretty easy to quit and stop doing it
yeah,
for a lot of people. So I think that's one con that we gotta talk about right away.
Yep.
Another thing, sometimes clients are going to be running your schedule. If they're going to be seeing homes when it's after their work or on the weekends when they're not working. So that means also, you're working weekends.
Yeah. Basically, be prepared to work the opposite shift of everybody else.
That's right.
That's a good way to sum it up.
Yeah.
Weekend hours are definitely going to be required. Weeknights are definitely going to be required. A big con, and these are two cons, they kind of tie in together. There's no boss, and that is a con, not a pro. There's no boss, and you have no accountability.
Right.
So,
So like no one's telling you, and there's not a boss telling you what to do or what goals you should be hitting or what, levels you should be hitting, what you should be doing on every day. So yeah, that's definitely a con.
yeah, this is a sales job, and in most sales departments for big corporations or even little corporations, there's a sales manager who's saying, all right, our salespeople need to hit this target. You don't get that in real estate. You have to come up with your targets, and you have to hold yourself accountable to meeting those targets.
Absolutely. So now we talked about the pros. We talked about the cons. We should talk about how you should actually, what's the first steps you can do to kind of start this real estate career.
Yeah, and I think that one of the first steps is kind of like the first step of closing a deal in real estate, qualify it. Do you actually want to be a real estate agent? And how you would do that is you could intern for free. You could work as an unlicensed assistant.
You could ask an established real estate agent, hey, can I shadow you for a day? That's also an easy option.
Or a week.
Yeah, even that. Yeah, whatever they're willing to do, Yeah, so I think that's a great way to kind of see if that's going to be a fit for you, a good fit for you.
And every state is going to have different requirements for licensure. For instance, in the state we're in, you basically have to be a member of the Realtor Association. it's pretty much. I don't think I've met a single person who wasn't. Because Realtor Association membership is how you get access to the MLS here. That's not the case in every MLS. That's not the case in every state. So the actual technical step is going to depend on where you are. The association is a good place to start. So either your local association or your state association, those are great places to start. Or just look it up online.
That's
how
right.
to get licensed in Dallas, Texas.
Right. And and watch YouTube videos, read books on real estate and sales. Like you got to start somewhere. And I think, with the internet these days, it's so easy to kind of self-educate yourself in the beginning.
I would really also recommend when you go to take the course, because you're going to have to take a pre-licensing course. Some states are 40 hours. Some states are 140 hours. Depends on where you are. But when you go to take that course, I highly recommend doing it online. And the reason why is because, like me, I was a working professional before I got into this. So after work, I could go home and watch that online. On my drive home, I could stream it and put it on my Bluetooth. So that way it was like doing double time. If it was an in-person course, there's no way I probably wouldn't even gotten licensed.
Right. So that's another advantage is with the technology these days, we can get licensed technically, learning online, which is great. And study for that test. When you are getting licensed, please study. I know for a lot of people it's relatively easy, but there are things that go along with doing contracts that, you're just not going to know from your general knowledge.
Typically, the test is going to test you on your ability to read thoroughly and your ability to remember the real estate law.
Right.
Because, and now this was actually said by the lawyer who works for my association when I took the online class. She said this. These are her words in summary. She said that basically a real estate license is a permission slip to practice law in this tiny little box.
Contract law, essentially.
Yep. Our little box is real estate contracts. That's
Yep.
where we get to practice law. So the state tests, the exams are going to be very detail oriented, and they're going to try to trick you and get you off your game by having you not read thoroughly. So definitely practice. Definitely take it seriously. It matters.
Yeah, it does. And that just, when you pass that test, that's like your first step. The first part of your success is getting through that. Whether it's easy for you or difficult,
yeah,
it's needed.
Definitely. And then lastly, pay the fees. So if you're joining an association, you're gonna have to pay dues. You're probably gonna have to pay your MLS fees. You're gonna have to pay for your state license fees, and that's different state to state. I remember paying roughly a total. I think it was like $1,500 between the state and the
MLS or
association.
Oh, okay.
So it was about $1,500. I think now it's a little closer to 2,000 because we've had our license for about 5 years each. So I think they increased the cost a little bit. But I would say set aside, depending on where you are, and you can research these costs, but I'd say set aside at least 2,000 just to be safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And that 2,000 is only for the actual getting of the license. So not for any kind of startup costs, for instance. So what would be, like, once you have your license, what's the best first step?
I would say either try to get hired on as an assistant somewhere or join a team. I think joining a team, if you're trying to go right into sales, is probably your best bet here. You're going to join people who are established and can help you get started.
Yeah, for sure. I never joined a team. It wasn't something that I did. I went the independent agent route. And looking back, I absolutely wish I would have started differently. I definitely stunted my own growth by trying to do everything alone. Where Matt did join a team.
Right.
So the growth, the speed at which we've developed our businesses individually has been very different. And I think that joining a team, again, speaking from somebody who did not do it, I definitely regret not joining a team. They would have taught me everything I need to know. They would have taught me how to qualify. They would have taught me how to show. They would have taught me how to list. They would have taught me how to close deals. It's something that I didn't know, and I had to learn through trial and error, unfortunately.
And essentially, I start out, our other suggestion here, I technically started out kind of like a showing agent almost. I was licensed, so I was allowed to, take people on showing and do that type of stuff. So that's kind of essentially how I started very early on. And I think that just taught me so much about interacting with clients and doing that. So I think that's another good option if you could get on with a team and even just start being their showing agent.
For sure.
depending on their format. So
And pick a good team, please.
do your research.
Pick the best team. Pick the best firm. Decide what you want to sell and go work with the best. That's another thing that it's actually not in our notes, but I just thought of it. Pick the best brokerage. Pick the best team. Choose to work with the best agent. Don't work with somebody who is just in the middle of the pack. It's not. They're not going to teach you what you really need to be successful.
Right. Absolutely. So, all right. I think that wraps it up for how to become a real estate agent. I hope this video helped you. I hope you have success in becoming a real estate agent. Rich and I worked really hard on this video and this type of stuff, and we would appreciate it if you liked and shared this video to anyone who might find it useful. Also, subscribe to our channel. We do have videos coming out every week, so be on the lookout for that.
Yep. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, please leave us a 5-star rating. That helps a lot. Also, we're here for you guys. You can reach us through email at bossagentpodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach us on our website at boss-agent.com.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.